This is my AFK Plankerton Endurance version 2.0. Now for anybody who has missed my first video on this, I have made a few small adjustments to some of the amplifiers, but now I've sorted out AFK builds for every amplifier and, as far as I know, to the best of my knowledge, all possible spawn points as well. Now there will be timestamps in the description down below for anybody who does want to skip to certain parts, but I do highly recommend you try and watch as much as you can of this video, because depending where you stand and what you do can determine whether this is a success or not. But without further ado, let's get straight in there and let's go and sort out your Plankerton AFK Endurance. Now, first things first, before you do even start on any endurance runs, whether it be Plankerton, Stonework, Canny Valley, Twine, whichever one you are trying to do, you do need to make sure that you are the right power level in order to complete them. Far too many people do try and rush through the game and try and do their endurances when they are underpowered, and you will really struggle with them. For my main account here, which some of these builds will be shown from, I am a max power level, I have my fort stats maxed out, and my survivor squads are pretty much full trap durability. I have one or two trap damage survivors in there, but majority of them are trap durability, so I have very high trap durability for my missions. Having said that, on my alt account, which you will see some video of as well, I am power level 68 on there, my fort stats are around 102, and my survivor squads are a total mess. I have one set of trap durability, one set of trap damage, and nothing else matches at all. Not even my health or shield. So it is definitely possible. You will struggle a lot more in order to complete full 30 waves if you are lower, but you can get through it quite easily. Quite a lot of the amplifiers are set up here with the smasher amps built around them, so that when you do get any smashers or propanes or any aggro husks, they should come towards you at one of the two AFK spots. These will all be shown in the timestamp sections of this video, so don't worry, you will get to those later on. And one last thing I do want to point out before we go any further as well. If you do build up this Plankerton Endurance build on any of the amplifiers, then please do not add additional structures, especially to the UFO amp. I have spent a lot of time testing on various alternate accounts to make these builds as cheap as possible. Every structure and every trap that has been used have been placed for a specific reason. If you do add additional traps onto that, you do run the risk of it affecting the endurance run, which can even make it fail. Especially in the case of the UFO waves, if you place additional traps around those two amplifiers, you can cause the UFO to destroy the entire lot. Please remember that when building this endurance. Now I do briefly want to go through the traps that I have used for this endurance. First up, we have the ceiling electric field. Now for this one, I've gone with energy damage, and then we have damage, reload speed, crit rating, damage, and durability. For wall darts, we have a physical element, we have durability, reload speed, damage, and durability. Ceiling gas trap, we have physical element, critical rating, crit damage, durability, damage, and heals attached building. For the sound walls, we have reload speed and then full durability. The reload speed itself can be a legendary perk, I just haven't bothered upgrading that since the previous AFK builds. For tar pit, we have element fire and full durability with heals attached building on the last perk. Now I do have this as a grey element perk because I'm not really aiming at dealing additional damage with that. I'm just trying to hold them in place. Wooden floor spikes, we have physical element, and then we have fall damage build with heals attached as the last perk. And for wall spikes, we have physical with a grey perk and full durability with heals attached building as the last perk as well. Anti-air traps, we have damage, range, reload speed, durability, and durability. For the floor freeze trap, we have durability, reload speed, durability, reload speed, durability, and effect duration. And for the floor launcher, we have triple impact and double reload and a durability. And that is pretty much all of the traps that I have used on this endurance. So first up on our builds, we have our home amp. Now just ignore this up here. This was me. I got bored and I had 1,500 structures left, so I thought I'd try and build something over here. But for your home amp, now depending on which amplifiers you have placed, you will always be attacked from the north. But if you have not placed this amplifier up here, then you can be attacked from that direction of the east as well. So for the north, this is our north spawn, and these are the traps that we have got set up for it. Now your spawn points are going to be anywhere along this section, along here, anywhere up there, and anywhere along there. And there are a few just down the bottom section down here as well. So for this, we have two basic tunnels which they are going to be heading towards. For the block off, really simple. We literally have 3 rows of walls on the left hand side here, which just go up to the edge of the mountain on that side. And then we also have 2 rows on this side here. So for the middle section, this is all we have, is just 1 wall there to the outside and 1 wall at the back. So if we get over here now to our actual spawn points, so our spawn points are going to be anywhere along this section, anywhere up here, anywhere around here, and also down here as well. And they are going to head towards one of these 2 tunnels. So if we go through the left hand side first of all, as they head along through here, they are going to head into this tunnel. We've got 2 wall darts in there to catch anything up here before they even get to our tunnel. And we do have 2 drop traps up above the entrance just to catch anything out. Now in the tunnel itself, we have 6 wall darts, we have 6 wooden floor spikes, and we have 6 ceiling electric fields. Now the reason I've used wooden floor spikes is because it gives us a much higher durability. Even without having survivors with trap durability in them, it would give you much more uses on these traps. So that is the actual trap tunnel there. Now on the left hand side here, and I haven't actually added it on this one, so I'm going to add it in now before I forget. I do have a wall dart on there which I've placed on my other account now. So for this one, this is our tunnel there. So we've got our 2 rows of block off here, and all we got is 3 wooden wall spikes on the wall there, just in case anything tries to bash at it, then it will get repaired before the next attack. Now I added wall dart on this side on my other account because I didn't have that amplifier placed on that one, and I found when they were spawning for that amplifier, they were actually coming down here to this point, the flingers, and trying to fling all the way up there, and sometimes they were damaging these structures in the process. So I added in a wall dart, and we've got our wall spikes to heal the walls. So that is the left hand block off. Now for this section over here, now the 2 middle walls there for the middle block off, we do have 2 wall spikes on that section as well, just to heal anything up that may cause any damage there. And on the right hand side, we've got exactly the same tunnel. We've got our wooden floor spikes, our wall darts, and our ceiling electric fields, and we've got 2 more drop traps up above there, and they are held on and attached by these 2 blank ones on the ceiling there. Now on the right hand side over here, where we've got all our 3 rows of block off here, we do have some more wall spikes on here just in case anything gets damaged, and we do have a wall dart on the side to catch anything else that might want to try standing down here to lob over to our home amp. Now I did place in a couple of wall darts on here just to stop any of our lobbers or flingers trying to stand at either of these 2 spots along here, and just to make sure they don't go up the top there, we've just blocked this off, and I've got 1 more wall dart on that section as well. Now for the actual drop traps for the spawn itself, now it is all held up by 2 wood arches in the center. If you do make those into full walls, I do find that the lobbers will aim at those targets, and if those 2 do get destroyed, then the whole lot of trap spawns will get destroyed as well. So I made those into archways, and it seems to keep those at bay. So we've just got 1 row of our edited cones or backward ramps, and attached to that then from this point here, we do have 3 rows of drop traps, and we have a couple of ceiling electric fields as well. You may get the occasional spawn on top of this little mountain here, so that's why we've got an electric field there, and we've got 2 on this section here just for anything that spawns in these 2 places. Other than that, we've just got a couple of drop traps set up on here, and that should take out majority of the spawn as they head towards our tunnel. Now for the top section over here, I've got in some anti-air traps along here. We've got 4, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We got 6 along the top here, just for any of the lobbers that may try attacking from this section. And we do have 6 on top of here, and we've got 6 on top of there as well. And that should keep off any lobbers or flingers that may come in later waves. So that will take care of your north spawn. Now, if you have not placed this amplifier up here, you can get attacked from the east as well. So I'm going to quickly go into my other account, and I will show you the spawns for that. For your Homebase East spawn, you can get a spawn point anywhere along this section along here. So it can be anywhere up along this top part before this amplifier. Now you can also get a spawn point be down here and anywhere along this section and across here as well, and also 1 or 2 spawn points down here. So what we have done, we have got some wall darts set up on the side here to take anything out as soon as they spawn in there. We do have 2 or 3 wall darts set on the side here as well, just to catch anything out as they spawn in. And we do have a lot of drop traps set up over our spawns as well. Now it has been anchored to the top of that mountain over there just to make sure that it can't get destroyed. And we do come out 3 tiles from the edge of that mountain. And then what you're going to do is you're going to place in some drop traps, which are going to take you all the way to this corner here. And then you're going to do 2 rows of those. And then if you drop down 1 tile for 4 more drop traps over there, and that would take out anything along this section that will spawn in as well. So that's going to deal with this side. Now anything then that does get past here will have to go through some wooden floor spikes here, or anything that comes from this point, they're going to come down here, go through some more wooden floor spikes, and then we've got some wall darts set up which are going to be staggered on either side as they go through, just in case anything makes it through. But I've never had anything get past this point here, so you should be perfectly fine. Now for anything then that does spawn up on the top section up here, now from this section which we've already done, you're going to raise up then 1 tile high just to make sure that it is high enough over the spawn. And then you're going to add in another 2 rows which are going to take you all the way to the edge of this part here. Now from this one you're going to attach it down to some wall darts at the bottom. So we've got another anchor piece over here, and it's going to be anchored over there as well, so it can't get damaged and destroyed. And what you're going to do then, once you've got those 2 rows in, you're going to move over to your west hand side, and you're going to add another 2 rows, which are going to take you all the way to the edge of this part of mountain here. From here, we're going to add in some wall darts along the sides, and we're going to have a wooden floor spike on the bottom. At the very bottom of this, there's going to be another wooden floor spike and another wall dart there. Make sure you do add in 2 edited floor pieces along here, just to make sure that the husks can't walk through this part here. And on the other side over here, just going to carry on these wall darts all the way over to the edge of this mountain. Now you can leave out that very corner piece, just tie it off here to make sure that it makes them go across to this wooden floor spike here, and you've got another wall dart there. So that's going to catch anything out that comes along this whole section here. If they do make it past this square, then we've got another 2 floor traps down there, and we've also got another wall dart on the wall there, but again, nothing has ever made it past that point. So you should be perfectly fine for any spawn point for your home base from the east. If for any reason you have actually placed this amplifier, then I'm going to go ahead and show you the builds for those now. Okay, so for this amplifier, this is the amplifier then which is to your east of your home base. So this is your home base here, and this is the amplifier to the east. Now for this one, depending on amplifiers that you placed will depend on where your spawns come from. Now you will always be attacked from the north, and you will always be attacked from the east. If you haven't placed this amplifier like myself, then you will also get attacked from the south. So for the south, I'm going to come over here first of all. This one is quite a basic setup. They are going to spawn anywhere along this section, anywhere around here, and it can also come anywhere up to this point here. So for this one, if you ignore any traps that we've got placed past there, because that is going to be for a different amplifier. So ignore those ones, and we're going to be going from this point then, and it's literally just going across like that. Now we do have it blocked off on this section just to make sure that nothing wants to go up the top, and I've got a wall dart on there as well. Now we do have, what is it we have from here? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We've got 10 drop traps set up along this section, which will catch majority that do come to head towards the amplifier. We do have then 4 wall darts on here as well, and then we do have a couple of wooden floor spikes just going along here. We've put in an edited wall here just to make sure that they don't try and cut past this. They've got to go around and over these 2 traps here. And we've got a couple of anti-air traps, because sometimes you can get some lobbers that might want to stand down here trying to fling up. So these anti-air traps will take care of them. So that will do for your south side. It's pretty basic. There's not too much set up there. Now for your east side, with this one, we do have your spawn points all the way over here, and it can be anywhere up to this point. Now I have made a slight change on my other account, that I have moved this. I've taken this off and I've moved it to this point here, because you can get an occasional spawn which will spawn right up at this corner, and it can take out these 2 structures. And what it was doing, it was taking them out, and then it was just knocking down the entire section. So I've moved it up here now, so it's going to be out of the way and it's not going to get hit by the spawns. So the spawn sections be all the way up here. Now we have got this setup all the way around of wall darts, which will go all the way around the backside of the spawns, and it'll come all the way up to this section here. So for this one then, I have then added in an extra row up there just to make sure it's double anchored so that it's not going to get knocked down. If one side does accidentally get attacked, then at least you've got two sides to hold the whole lot up. Now from this corner here, we do have a couple of drop traps set up along this section for anything that heads through there, and one full row which is going to go all the way back and connect up to this section along here. And then what you're going to do from there is you're going to drop it down one row, and from that, because it's one row lower, for anything to catch the husks as they come down this section. So we've then got another 2 rows of drop traps along here, and that will sort out most of the husks before they even get passed into our amplifier. They are going to head towards the amplifier up here. So for this top section, we've got a couple of wooden floor spikes down here. Got another one over here, and an edited wall again to make sure they don't try and cut past this section here. And we've got a wall dart set up on this. Now, I did, on my other account, I did add in an extra one on here because I was finding that I was getting some flingers in later waves trying to stand at this point here. So that will take care of them, as will the wall darts, just to make sure that they don't want to try standing anywhere along this section. So that should take care of any of the flingers. Now, for any that do make it past any of our drop traps here, then they're going to head in through this way, and we've got some more wooden floor spikes set up here to catch them out, and then they're going to head up this ramp. As they come up here, we do have a drop trap. We've got 2 ceiling electric fields which is attached to our amplifier there, and we've got some more wooden floor spikes on the floor at the top of the ramp. And this is our smasher amp up here. Which normally should have your edited walls like that on it, but I've had no problems with any smashers or anything at this amplifier, so I didn't include them on this one. But what I do have is I do have some ceiling electric fields set up here, and they are going to be on all the 4 sides. This does attach into that direction over there, which we'll go into in a minute. So for this one here, they're all going to be aiming for this computer at the back. So regardless where they come up, they're going to come all the way along this side and around here to our computer, or they're going to come all the way up that ramp and around this way to the computer here. So they're going to get hit by the ceiling electric fields as they come round, and that normally takes out most of them before they ever get there. We do have a few anti-air traps on the top of all of these 4 pieces, and on the very top of the amplifier as well, and I've got a couple of extra ones up on the top of this section here, so that should take care of any lobbers. So that will be for your east. The only other spawn side you have then is over from the north. Now, for the north spawn, they're going to spawn anywhere inside this pool. And in later waves, you will get some that will spawn up along the top here and anywhere inside that cave. And they're going to be heading towards our amplifier over here. So for this, what I have done, let me go and get up on the top section over here. Now, this is anchored on the top of this mountain so that nothing can actually get to it, because this is pretty much the only thing that is holding up all of these traps. If this was to get destroyed, then the whole thing would come crashing down. So I've placed it up here out of the way so that nothing can actually get to it and destroy any of the structures. So anything that spawns in under here, we have 2 full rows of drop traps, and an additional one on that piece there, which is anchoring that to the top of the mountain, and that's going to come all the way across to the end of this bit of mountain here, and it's going to go all the way across over to the edge of this bit of mountain here. So that will be all of your drop traps. Now along the middle section of that, we do have some wall darts, which is going to catch anything that will come up past this point. So whether they spawn here or whether they make it up here, they're going to get hit by all of these darts on the way past, and that normally takes out majority of them. From here we do go up one row there with an extra few pieces just to tie it in up the top. Now for this tile on the end, we have this one lower than everything else, because you can get, if I can get up here, you can get occasional spawn which may spawn up here, and you can get some spawns which will spawn along this section here as well. Now most of them will sort of drop down and go down that way, but you can get the occasional one that does want to come over here. So what they will do is they will fall onto here and then normally fall down there to head towards the amplifier. So if you were to have a floor piece up here, then what they would do, they would come across here and they would walk straight across the whole lot and head straight in to the amplifier. So you don't want that, so I've placed it one lower just to make sure that doesn't happen. Now we do have a couple more wall darts set up for anything that does spawn along this top section, so that should take most of them out before they even get anywhere, and then they should just fall down this side, anything that's left, and they'll get hit by another 2 rows of drop trap up on the top section up here. They will then start heading in this direction if they haven't been taken out, or if these are run out or anything. Then we've got some more along this section on here, and then they come through, get hit by a ceiling electric fields, and then they've got to walk this line with all the wooden floor spikes and another wall dart on the end. Now on the very top and attached to the amplifier, leave this one, you can definitely leave this piece in here, but these two, keep a check on those, because I haven't seen them actually being used yet. They haven't had any uses in any of the runs I've done, so it may be a case I may take these out eventually and just do away with them, but they are there just in case, really, in case anything actually makes it past. Then at least you've got 2 extra traps at the top to get rid of them. So that is your spawn points for this amplifier, which is right to the east of your home base. Now this amplifier is the one to the southeast, and this is one of the possible UFO amplifiers. The other amplifier that you may get attacked on for your UFO is this one over here. Now even if you have placed that amplifier as well, if this one is placed, then it will shift your UFO to this amplifier. Now if you are going to be going for this build and you have got your UFO wave on this one, then you will need to have your AFK spot at this corner. Make sure that you do place it right in the very corner over there, and it will need to be at least 10 tiles high to make sure that it doesn't interfere with the UFO, but also to make sure that it is at the right height for any of the aggro husks like propanes or smashers, lobbers, anything like that, that they will all aim for you. They will come over to stand underneath your AFK spot. So do make sure that you have that in the right place. It's got to start from that very end tile over there and have it coming towards the west, so that you're standing correctly for any of the aggro husks. Now for this one, we are going to have a spawn from the east or from the south. Now for the actual amplifier itself, this is our amplifier build, and I've got to say this amp, and this is the only one in this endurance, this one has been built by my friend Matthew, so he has set all of this one up for me. I have then built all of the other possible amps. So this one here, this is our amp design. Now it is very similar to your general Smasher design amp, but it has got an extra layer on the top, or an extra 2 layers should I say, because it is a lot lower down than the actual spawn. So for this one, we do have our electric fields, which will be going around the outsides of the bottom row, and that is going to take care of a lot of things when they get in. Now our computer screen for this one is over here, so they're going to want to come to either this tile or this one over there. Sometimes they will come over to this one, but they're going to aim for this corner. So we do have some wooden floor spikes down on the floor here, and we do have some edited floor pieces like this, just to make sure that they're going to be pathing around the amp and not get too close to it, because sometimes they can come and try and go this way. They might get a little too close and then they'll end up getting damage on the amplifier. So these would just prevent that. Now on the back corners over here, we do have our edited wall pieces like this. Make sure that you do have those set up. The front piece here, that doesn't matter so much, but make sure that these ones are all into edited triangles. Now the very back piece here, we've got another edited floor piece in there, and we have an edited cone then on top, which will look like that. And that will take care of the bottom row. Now over where the actual box is, where our computer screen is, we have placed a drop trap, which is going to be just too high, because that's going to have a lot more damage on it than any of our electric fields, so that would deal some more damage to any husks that do make it over here. Now on the tops of these electric fields, we do have anti-air traps. We've got all of these placed along this side. Very occasionally, he said, you can get some flingers which will fling some husks, and they might land up on the top. So what they'll do is they'll drop down here and head over this way to go to our box. So we've just got a couple of wooden floor spikes to hopefully deal a bit of damage before they get there, and another ceiling electric field up on the top of that. On our next row up, we do have a couple more, we got one more anti-air trap on here, and on the next row up, the very top row, we do have a few more anti-air traps there, and one final one on the very top. So that will sort out the amplifier itself. Now for your east spawn, they are going to be spawning all the way over here. Now it can be anywhere along this section, anywhere where we have got these wall darts set up, it can spawn in this section. So we've placed these around the edges. Make sure that they are anchored and they're kept away from the edges here, because if you place them too close to the edge, then they will get destroyed by the spawn itself. So make sure they're quite far back, and they are going to cause most of the damage to the husks when they first initially spawn. Anything that doesn't get taken out by our wall darts, we have then got some drop traps set up here. Now it's just one full row all the way over to the end of this, which is pretty much the end of this natural bit of mountain. And then the second row, we have got 1, 2, 3, we've got 4 more on the second row, and we've got 3 more on the third row over there. So that would just pretty much fill this section up, which is going to be all of the spots that they will spawn at. Do not place anything any further forward than this, otherwise your UFO is going to destroy it, and if it does, it's going to end up destroying the entire lot. So make sure you don't place anything further forward than that. So for our traps, for anything that does make it past our spawns, they may want to come up this way. So we do have an edited wall here, and we've got a ceiling electric field underneath that, and on the top we do have another anti-air. Now some of these may get taken out by the UFO, and you may find that you may even lose pretty much all of these around here, and it's just going to be focusing mainly on your drop traps and whatever traps you have on the amplifier itself. So we do have a couple of wooden floor spikes set up, we've also got some wall darts set up here as well. And we got some more wall darts on here. You can leave these tiles blank. These are literally just to try and tempt the UFO to destroy these instead of destroying other ones that we want. Generally it doesn't work that way, unfortunately, but it can help sometimes along the runs. We do have a wall dart down there, and we've got an anti-air trap then on the bottom for any of our lobbers as well. Oh, don't forget to place in your wall spikes on the sides of the amplifier box there, just remembered. So that will cover this section up here. Now down here we do have some more wall darts we've got on both sides, and we've also got wooden floor spikes here as well, and the same over here. Now we've got this too high so that it will catch anything that comes past this point as well, and there is also another set of them here, and we've got the wall darts over there and a blank floor on that one. Now there's another set over on this side here. We got one last wall dart set on here. Now I do find quite often that the lobbers will aim for these structures. For some strange reason they want to break these structures, and until all of these sort of wall ones are gone, then they will just stand here lobbing constantly at them. Once they've destroyed them, they move on and they're no problem whatsoever. And as I said, you may find that the UFO will take majority of these out anyway, so you don't really need to worry too much. Once they have all got destroyed, then the husks are going to have a free run all the way down here. So they'll go over the wooden floor spikes and take all the damage from these traps there. Now I added this one in. This wasn't on his build, but I added in a wall dart here, and I did add in a wall dart over here as well, just to help catch anything that does get down here and make sure that there's plenty of traps really for the later waves. Most of your smashers, your propanes, anything like that are all going to be coming over to your AFK spot, and they're going to be standing probably around about here, just standing looking up at you, and no problem at all. You'll even find probably from the amplifier over there that you'll get some coming from there as well. So this is the spawn for the east. Now for the south spawn, this is going to be your spawn point, is going to be anywhere along within this section down here. Now they are going to aim and mainly go down that ramp straight down there. Things like your smashers, your lobbers, your propanes, your zappers, all of those sort of husks are going to come up this natural ramp. You've got this natural ramp over here, so they're going to come up this point. Now they're not going to head over to the amplifier because this is over 5 tiles high, that they're not going to fall down there. So what they will do is they will probably wander around this top section. Most of them will come over and stand at this point here. You might see them quite often wandering back and forth. They might go over to this tile and then they take a bit of damage, they turn around and they will come back and stand at this square again. Now these are all placed as well, making sure that they are at least separated so there's no touching squares, because this is another set of traps for the UFO. So the UFO hopefully is going to take out some tiles up here and not take out too many of our damaged ones down the bottom. Now for the spawn traps, we have set these up all the way around the actual spawn points. Make sure that you do keep them far enough back. The spawn will come anywhere somewhere around here. And again, we've got our drop traps set up over the top up here. So this is going to take out majority of things before they actually get to our amplifier. Do not place anything any further forward than this square, otherwise it will get destroyed by the UFO and you'll be stuck and all of this will get destroyed. So these are the wall darts that we've set up along there. That'll take care of most of them. The drop traps up there will take care of most of them as well. and then once they do start running out, they will head in through this direction. So we do have a few more spots here, and again these have just got wooden floor spikes on. UFO may possibly take out quite a lot of these, but at least there will still be enough damage over at the spawns to get rid of them. We've got a couple of wall darts set up, and we've got a few other structures over here just for anything that may want to come over and sort of drop down from these sides down here. When they do get down to the bottom, we've got some more wooden floor spikes here. We've got some more wall darts set up just for any that want to drop down the tops. And this tile here, now this is mainly for the UFO. This will probably get destroyed by the UFO, but it is one additional structure that it can hit rather than anything we want it to, so it doesn't matter if it does get destroyed. Same for that wooden floor spike there as well. Now we've got a couple of wall darts set up. We've got some over this side, and we've got some blocking this natural ramp up here, and we've got a couple of anti-air traps set on the top of this section as well. Now there's another natural ramp over here, so we've just got a window in here, which I'm pretty sure should have, if I've got any left, it should have one of those in there. And we've got a wall dart on this side, and we've got anti-air trap on the top of that as well. So that should hopefully prevent anything from wanting to come up this way. But they shouldn't anyway. They've got a clear straight path to where they need to go. So that is going to be your spawn point for the south, and that should take care of pretty much everything. Okay, next up we have this amplifier, which is to the south of your home base. Now for this one, depending on whether you have placed this amplifier here or not, if you have placed that, then you won't get attacked from the east, but I'm going to go through the builds for if you don't have that one placed. You will also get attacked from the south, and depending on whether you have this amplifier placed, you can also get attacked from the west as well. So for your east, they are going to spawn, if you have got this one, then they're going to spawn anywhere around this section down here. It can be anywhere up around this amplifier. But don't forget, if you have placed this amplifier, then you won't get that spawn direction, and you won't need to worry. But for this one then, as say they spawn along this section here, and anything up to this point around here. So ignore all of those because they are to do with that amplifier over there. So that's for that bit. So from this section here then, we have basically a square around the top of the amplifier. And this is going to be filled with drop traps, and this will take out most of the actual spawns. Now it is all attached to this section here, which just blocks off this natural ramp. Make sure nothing wants to go up there, and we've got a wall dart set up on here as well. Now I did try with other wall darts along these walls, but you can get some spawns which will be pretty much all the way up to the edge of this this mountain. So they just kept getting taken out all the time, so I just removed them and done away with them. So they are going to be heading towards our amplifier up there. Now majority are going to go up this natural ramp here. So if they do, they're either going to come down this section, which I've got a sound wall here just for any propanes that you may get, but then they're going to go across some wall wooden floor spikes down here, up the natural ramp, which they're going to get hit by drop traps at the top here, and we've got some wall darts and some more wooden floor spikes set up along this section. So this will take out anything that does come up, and then they'll head up there past some more drop traps up at top, and we got a last wall dart then on the side here just to catch them out, so they'll go up that way. Now for probably smashers and lobbers, flingers, they will all want to go around this section here. Now we do have 2 natural ramps on that side, so I've set up a load more wall darts along this side to catch anything before they even get towards our main traps there. But we have a natural ramp behind here, which in some of the later waves they did decide that they wanted to break these and they would come up this way, even though we've got an open one up there anyway. So I did add in a few more wall darts and a few wooden floor spikes here just for any of those, and we got another wall dart on the side here, and then it links in to our other section over here. But smashers especially will want to come up this back row up here. Just a little edited wall here just to make sure that they can't cut across there. They've got to go across the actual wooden floor spikes. And we got some more wall darts then going around just to make sure it takes them out. Once they do get up to the top of this ramp, it is going to be pretty much a straight diagonal run. So they're going to have to go past all of these 3 wooden floor spikes, get hit by the wall darts as well, and these ones over here before they make it over to the amplifier, and 9 times out of 10 they don't even make it that far. So that was sorted out for that section. Now for the amplifier itself, this is the Smasher amp. So this design here, as you see it, if you build it like this, then Smashers should ignore the amplifier and should head towards you wherever you are stood. Now for this one, our computer screen is on the back side over here, so anything that comes up makes it past this point. We've got some electric fields which are going to take them out, and if they make it this far, then there's the last final one over the amp itself, and that should take them out there. Same thing for any that come along this side. They're going to head over here, so they'll more than likely cut across this, get hit by the drop traps, floor spikes, and also our electric fields as well. We do have some anti-airs on all of the top pieces along here, just for any lobbers that may want to stand at some point somewhere and not getting killed by traps. Then I should take care of those. Now for the south spawn for this one is going to be all the way over here, and it could be anywhere along this section, anywhere up where these wall darts are set up. So these are going to take out most of them as soon as they spawn, and I've placed it quite a way back from the edge because they can spawn anywhere up onto the edge of the side of the mountain here, so just so they don't get taken out. We've got an anchor point up there, and we've got an anchor point up there. So literally from these 2 points, we're going to have drop traps filling this section. So we do have, I do have one more which is set up on the end here, just for anything that might fall down here from the other drop traps, because of course they're all drop traps are placed facing this way, so they're going to get hit back down here, and there's just one last one up there to take them out if they do. So there's 3 rows of those. Make sure leave this one out here. Nothing really spawns at this point here anyway, so you can leave that one off. So that will take care of most of them there. Now they're going to head up this natural ramp. You may get the occasional one. Smashers may want to come over this way depending on where your AFK point is. Whether it's over that corner, then the smashers may come up this ramp, but otherwise they should head over to this AFK spot, which is up there. So that's why we've got this little stairs here, just for any smashers to come up and come stand underneath us. So anything then that does get past any of our drop traps are going to head up this natural ramp here. So we do get some propane on this amp. So I've got sound wall at the bottom here, and I got a sound wall on the top before they get into any of the traps, just to make sure they do drop their propane tanks before they get in. And they're going to go through these, which we've got wooden floor spikes, and we've got our wall darts on both sides, and we've got some electric fields up here. Now I left these first two blank just so that hopefully all of the propaners drop their tank before they make it up to this point, and then they'll get hit by the electric fields as they're going through. Now we do have a couple of anti-air traps just for any lobbers and flingers, which do like to try and stand over at this point here and try sort of lobbing at these two structures. So hopefully the anti-air traps should take those out. And then, yeah, that is pretty much it. They will then head in towards our amplifier over here. And one additional thing for this amplifier as well, some occasional small ones will want to go around this way and come around here and up this natural ramp here. So I did set up just a little kill box in here. We've got 2 tar pits, we got 2 wall darts, and we got 2 broadsides with some electric fields up on the top, and that should take out anything that may possibly want to come up this long way along here. So that would take care of that one. Now, if you haven't placed this amplifier up here, which is the alternate UFO amplifier, which is the one just to your southwest of your map. Now, if you haven't placed that one, then you are going to get a spawn point for this amplifier here, which is this one right at the very south of your map. So for this one, I'll get over here. Now, I don't have my triple jump on this one, so it'll take me a little bit longer to get over here. But for this one then, the spawn point is going to be anywhere around this section, and it literally can be various different waves anywhere around here. It can be up here along this section, it can be up here around this section, and it can be anywhere around this amplifier, which we haven't got placed on here. Now, if you've placed this amplifier, then you won't get that spawn for that amplifier down there, just for you to know. But yeah, it can be anywhere along here. Now, occasionally I did get a spawn right on the very edge here, so sometimes these 2 pieces can get taken out, but most of the time it seemed to work pretty fine. So what I have done, I've set in some wall darts along the back edge along here, and this, annoyingly, this does link in to another spawn for up there as well. So all of the spawns seem to mix in, and it can be quite annoying. But from what I've determined, at least for this amplifier, is it's going to be anywhere around this section along here. So we've got all of these wall darts set up. They go all the way along to the edge here, and behind this, just 1 tile further, we've got the natural ramp over here, and it comes across here, across there. And from this point, make sure you do take it 1 out from the edge of the actual mountain, otherwise it will get taken out by the spawns themselves. We do get some propanes on here, so I've got 2 sound walls on here, which are going to make them drop their tanks before they head off to our amplifier. Most of them should get taken out by all of the drop traps. So the best thing to do, from the top of this mountain here and back, is what you're going to need to have for this amplifier down there. And it does look a lot, but you're going to have so many different spawns up here for so many different things. You've got spawn for that amp, and you've got spawn for this amp over there. So yeah, it is going to be a nuisance. Now, if you have placed this amplifier next to it, this one, then the spawn point will move further back over this section. It's going to be further back for this one over here. But anyway, we've got all of these drop traps up here. I did put in these few along here, which you can still put in even if you don't need, for this amp over there. You can still have these for wall darts on here. I put in some electric fields up the top here just to take out anything that spawned at this section. but from there back you're pretty much going to fill the whole square with drop traps. You can leave out the one in the middle of this amp because nothing's going to get hit by that one, so you don't need to worry about that one. And it's just filling in all of these squares up to the edge of this mountain, and you can fill them in from here. I did leave this one spare, left that one off because it's really occasionally that you'll get this spawn up here, so it wasn't really worth putting a trap in. Now I didn't have these two up here, and I may even take these two out, because what I did find later on, especially with the propanes, they were dropping their tanks for the sound wall as soon as they hit it, but then the drop traps were coming down and damaging them. Occasionally they may actually damage them from the drop trap before the sound walls go off, so they may actually blow up their tanks and destroy these. So you may be worthwhile taking these two drop traps off and leaving these 4 squares empty, but they're just there in order to keep it all attached in 3 separate places, just to make sure it doesn't get destroyed. So that is going to be your main spawn point section along here. If they do in later waves make it down here, then we've got some wooden floor spikes here. Now behind this is another little section there, so we've blocked that off, we've put in a wall dart, and I've made a tunnel along this way for them to go through. Now I put in some edited walls in here just to make sure that we keep them onto one path rather than being able to go across the 2 paths, and it'll save an extra row of our floor spikes over there. So they come past these, they're going to get hit by all of these wall darts on this side and the ones on that side, and we've got electric fields coming up along the top as well, and then down to the amplifier. So that's going to take care of all of the possible spawn from the west. Just bear in mind though that if you do have that amp placed, then you won't need to build any of this section. You won't need any of it at all. There's a couple of anti-airs up on the top as well, just for any lobbers or any propane tanks that might get thrown. Now this is the other possible UFO amplifier. For me it is amplifier D, is in the bottom east. It's in the bottom west of your map, and this is the other possibility of where the UFO will spawn. So for this one you've got a few possibilities of where they are going to come. They are going to come from the south, or they are going to come from the west. Now with this one, regardless of whether you have placed that amplifier over there or not, if you have placed that one, then that will be your AFK UFO spot over there. You'll have your UFO wave on that amplifier. But you can still build this for this one, and it will still work just as well. Now you won't get hit on this one for the UFO wave if that amplifier is placed. If you haven't placed that amplifier, then you will definitely get hit on this one. Now for this one then, if this is your amp for the UFO wave, then your AFK spot will need to be over in this corner over here. If I just quickly get over here for you. Now you need to make sure that you do build it from this square over here, this one right on the very corner of the map, and you do need to make sure as well that, same as the other AFK spot, that you do have it at least 10 tiles high, because that way then you're going to be high enough that you won't be able to get affected by the UFO mini boss or anything like that, but your smashers and your aggro husks will come up to you. Now I have built a mat grinder on the top of this one because this is on my main account. You don't necessarily have to do that, that is entirely up to you if you do so. But as long as you have that set at that point there and you stand on this tile here, then your smashers, your propanes, anything like that will all come to this section here, and they will stand around this corner, and they will just stand here looking at you, and you will be fine. But if you do have the other amp over there, and if the other one is your UFO wave, then you need to have your AFK spot over there. But you can still build this design for this amp as long as this one is placed. So for this one, for the south, your spawn points are going to be all the way along this section. They can be anywhere around where these wall darts are set up. And because of the UFO, it will come quite a way over here. So you want to make sure that you don't put any more drop traps than this on, otherwise they are going to get taken out by the UFO. So for this, from the edge of this mountain over here, right at this corner, we're going to anchor our drop traps up there. We're going to place in our wall darts, which are going to go all the way around the edge. Make sure you do keep them away from the edge itself, otherwise they will get taken out by the spawns. And they go all the way around the edge like so, and all the way up to here, and pretty much right up to the end of this section here. And that will be covered in your wall darts. Now we're going to have a second anchor point on there, just to make sure that it is kept nice and strong. You don't need to bother with a drop trap on the end tile, because nothing is going to spawn down the bottom there. So our spawns will be anywhere along this section. So from our anchor point here, you're going to have a full row which is going to go all the way over to the end of this ramp here. You don't need to go any further because nothing is going to spawn down there, so you don't need those last couple in on there. Now you're also going to add in an extra row from the edge of this mountain here, which is going to go all the way across. And again, you don't need to fill in this tile because nothing's going to spawn on that section. So that would do those two. And then you're going to fill in another full row then, which is going to go all the way over to the other anchor point on there. And then on the very end, because you've got a couple that spawn around here, you're going to add in 3 more on this end. Don't take it any further across than this, otherwise the UFO will attack it and it will destroy the whole section. So make sure you don't do it any further forward than that. So from here then, anything that does actually make it past these drop traps, we are going to have them heading up this natural ramp. Now all of these floor pieces that are placed down here are all placed 1 tile apart for the UFO. If you do have any structures that are going to be attached to any other structure like this, then if the UFO destroys this one, then it's also going to destroy this one, and it's going to destroy that one. So you've got to make sure that anything that you do place down has a full surround, all the way empty, all the way around it, to make sure that it only destroys one structure. And it's probably going to destroy, I think, 9 or 10 different structures in the UFO wave. So that is 9 or 10 structures rather than 100 structures. So it's always better to make sure that they are spaced out evenly. They can come anywhere back to any of these structures. They can destroy, if it feels like it, it can destroy all of these structures along here. But as long as it's destroying them, then it's not going to destroy that, and it's not going to destroy your amp either. Now we do also have 3 more structures down here. We've got one down in the corner down there. This one generally doesn't get taken out, but we've got one down there, and we've got one over there and one over there as well. Occasionally these can get taken out, not very often, but they're there just in case. And we're just going to put on wooden floor spikes on these, so that if they don't get taken out by the UFO, then at least there's a little extra damage to get rid of husks before they get up our ramp. We do have a couple of anti-air traps set up on here, and actually that one can go because that one doesn't really get used anyway. So we've got a couple of anti-airs just in case any lobbers do want to try flinging. They don't generally, but again, they're there just in case. And they are going to head up this ramp. As they head up this ramp here, providing UFO hasn't taken any of these out, then we've got wall darts and we've got floor spikes just in case they come up the left hand side. And over here we've got some more wall darts, and there's another 2 possible structures UFO can take out, and they should head towards the back amplifier. So around the back they're going to be walking all the way across all of these. They get hit by these as they come round, and they're going to get to our computer, which is here. Now, one thing I was going to change, which I may possibly change in the future, I might take out this wooden floor spike and put in a freeze trap instead, just for anything that does get up to this point. At least they get frozen in space while the electric field works. So I may change that, but for the time being we got wooden floor spikes on these 2 as well. Now we've got a couple of wall darts set up along here just for anything that does even make it up to this box. These should take out most of the husks for you. Later waves, you may get the mini boss want to bash against this one and bash against that one. I think it's sort of wave 29, I think. What he tends to do is he'll come a bash on this, he'll come a bash on this, he'll wander around here, he'll come up the top here, he'll go all the way over to this one, and then he'll fall down here, or he might fall back down over this side, and then he'll have another bash, and he'll just cycle round like that. So you don't need to worry about him at all. So that is for yourself, really. That is pretty much everything that's to it. The amplifier itself is the smasher amp again. Make sure it does look like this, and smashers will ignore it, and so will mini bosses, and you should be fine. For the west, your spawn for the west is going to be all the way over here. It could be anywhere in this section all the way along here. Later waves, you can get a spawn down here as well, anywhere around this section, but most of them are going to be along this section here. So we've got more wall darts set up all the way around this section just to try and take out as much as we can. And for our drop traps, now we're going to have it attached over here, and that'll be our anchor point. So we've got our drop traps up here. We've got 3 again on this front edge. Don't put any further along than that, otherwise UFO will destroy that one. But from the anchor point, a full row all the way over to the end there. And then from here, you're going to go back and place in a second row, which you go to just about to the end, and then some more over there. Make sure you leave that one out because nothing has spawned down there. Leave that one out and leave that one as well. You can put one up here because anything then that does spawn around this section and get knocked all the way back down here and got to walk back up again. So that is for that section there, and that will take care of most of them until the later waves. Now for any that spawn down this section down here, we do have linked in to this end square here, we've got another row of drop traps which are going to go all the way to the end of this section, and that's going to be tied in there. So we've got 4 more there, and then we've got another row on there as well, and another row, and then on the very end I've just got 2 extra on here. So that would take care of anything that does spawn in this section for any of the waves. So anything that makes it through are going to head either up this natural ramp here or up that natural ramp there. So some of these tiles, they will get taken out by UFO. So don't worry about those too much. And it could be any one of these squares. It could be all of these squares. but they generally would take out most of these little pieces anyway, so I wouldn't worry too much. But if they come up this ramp, they're gonna get some wooden floor spikes here, which of course damage, and then we got another one here, and from this point they normally turn and head off this direction. We've got an anti-air trap there just for any lobbers, and then they're gonna head for our amp anyway and get taken out over there. But we do have at the start here, we got some wall darts. Now these are just in case lobbers do tend to come, but most of the time, because our AFK spot for this one is here, so most of the time they're just going to come here and look at us and wander back and forth anyway, so you shouldn't get any problem with any lobbers. But we do have some anti-air traps on here, and these again are additional squares that the UFO may destroy if it wants to. So that's all of that section. If we get back down the bottom down here, again, make sure that these floor pieces are separated and there's nothing actually touching another square, and then the UFO is only going to take out the one tile each time. So we got row of 3 going up there. We've got a row of 3 up there with a anti-air on the end, and we've got anti-air there as well just in case, and 2 more wooden floor spikes on there. And that leads into the amplifier itself. So that will take care of everything there. There's some more anti-air traps up the top here, just in case they are needed in any later waves. Now for the next amplifier, which is this one just to the west, and for this one you are going to get attacked from the west spawn, and it will be that section all the way right down there, which is covered in our spawn traps from the other amplifier for this one. So if you do need that one, then it's just going to be that section of traps along there for this amplifier. But you are mainly going to get them coming up this natural ramp here. Sometimes they will go up those sides. You might want to take the long way up there, but most of them are going to come up along this side, so they should really get taken out by those drop traps there. We've got a couple of these if they haven't been taken out by UFO, and another one up the top with another edited wall just to make sure they don't cut through on this square. And then when they get up at the top here, we've got some wooden floor spikes, and then we've got some floor launchers, and these floor launchers are going to fling them all the way down there, so they will have to go through that tunnel which comes out all the way over here, comes out underneath here, and then they're going to walk around here and back up again. And normally by the time they do that, it's either wave over or they've been killed by the traps anyway. So make sure that you do have that set up like this. That edited cones on the top there are just to make sure they fling underneath. So that will sort them out. We do have a little box around our computer screen just to stop anything from getting in there. We've got some wall spikes on there, and we've got some ceiling electric fields around it. You shouldn't really get any problem anything coming up from this side here, but I did add in a few little floor spikes here just for anything that does want to take the long way round. Then at least they got some more damage before they get over to the amp, and as soon as they come to this point anyway, then they get hit, they get flung down to the bottom down there. So that'll take care of everything for that one. I haven't seen on any of the accounts I've run, I haven't seen any spawn from down this side, but I do have a different one set up which is for amplifier C on an alternate account. So if you do get any spawns down here for this amplifier, then the exact same build should work for that one. So I'll show you that one in a moment. You'll be able to check that one out if you need to. Now the next amplifier that we've got to place is just on your west of your map, just up here, and this in my case is amplifier C. Now you will get attacked from the west. If you haven't placed this amplifier over here, then you will also get attacked from the north. But also, if you haven't placed these amplifiers up here, now as far as I know, it is both of these. If you haven't placed both of these, or even if you've just placed this one, then you shouldn't get attacked from the south. But if you haven't placed either of these two amps, especially this amp here, then you can get attacked from the south. Now for the spawn for the south for this amplifier, then I can't be certain if you do place this amplifier here whether it's going to stop the spawn point from down here. It should, but I can't be 100% because I don't have any permutation on any of my accounts that I can 100% confirm it, but it should stop the spawn from down here. But if, like me, and you don't have this amplifier placed, then you will get a spawn for this one from all the way over there. And it is going to be linked in. If you have the amplifier placed just like I do, you have this one missing and that one next to you missing, then you're going to have a spawn for the amp over there. So you're going to have most of these drop traps set up already. But if for any reason you don't and you still got a spawn from over here, then they will spawn anywhere along this section. It's going to be anywhere around here, and it can be anywhere up to this point. You can even randomly get one over here, and you can get some along this section, and you can also get them up on the top section of here as well. So if you don't need all of this lot, then you can pretty much take off everything from this point backwards. You won't need any of those, you won't need all of that lot, you won't need any of those, but you are going to need to put in some wall darts along this section to catch any of the spawn, and you're going to need some across this section as well, because what they're going to do, most of them will head up this ramp here. They're going to get hit by all of these wooden floor spikes and all of these wall darts and everything going across. Now you can't place anything in here because the amplifier is in the way, but nothing should go round there. They can't really get round there very easy. They can come around this side, but they don't tend to. They will have a full straight run going over here. Now what I have found with this one, with this setup that I had here, you can get the tornado wave for this direction. Normally with other amp placements, the tornado wave will be over there or it'll be over there, but on this account my tornado wave came from this direction here. So it generally will come up as far as this last section here. So it can destroy some of these down here. It can definitely destroy some of those around the actual amplifier, destroy those ones, but it shouldn't cause any damage to any of your traps that you need for the husks, which is why I don't have any trap on this one. I didn't bother with any floor pieces on these two here, and I don't have any ceiling ones up here as well. But for the rest of this tunnel here, then I do have electric fields up above this section, and it's anchored on the top here. And of course all of our other drop traps and everything will be set up along this section here. Now unless you have that amp over here, then you won't need this lot. These will be gone, you won't need those at all. Now you can get a spawn up this part here. So I've got a couple of wall darts set up along here, and I've got some more electric fields on here. Now, due to testing, I have got loads of AFK spots which I was using just for testing purposes. So I was stood at the top of that while I was testing out this amp, and because I was stood up there, I was getting a load of husks aiming, coming towards me, and they were wanting the break this wall here in order to get to me at the AFK spot. So I did add in a wall spike on here with the heels attached just to try and stop them from wanting to bash it. But your AFK spots, depending on your amps, is either going to be that one which is over there, or it's going to be that one right over there that you can see that I've got built up. So it's most likely that one there, and if that is the case, you won't need to have this wall spike. You can take that away, there won't be any problem. But yeah, that is most of that section up there. Now for any that spawn along down this section, they tend to want to come down here, and because we had the random spawn here, it kept on breaking all of the structures that I had across this. I had some structures here to stop them from even being able to get down here, but there is a random spawn in later waves which will come up here, and it kept destroying the walls, so I've had to move it back one further. I've got a couple more wall darts on it just to catch anything out anyway, but because we can't block this off, they are gonna drop straight down here. Even though this is more than 4 tiles high, they will still drop down this section, and I've seen it quite a few times. So I've got in some wooden floor spikes down here, and we got some wall darts just to cause some damage to whoever gets to this point. And then as they start heading up this, we've got in 2 lots of drop traps, which are going to cause some damage as they come up. If they make it past there, then we have wooden floor spikes, we've got some wall darts on both sides, and we've got an electric field up above, and it's just anchored on the both sides just to make sure it doesn't get destroyed. And we do have a couple more wooden floor spikes along here, just for anything that may possibly make it past there. And if they come up to the amp, then of course we got the same design as before, so they will all get taken out from that. Now from the west, your spawn point is going to be anywhere along this section down here. It can be anywhere along this, all the way up to the end, and also along these 2 tiles along here. So what we have set up here, we do have some natural little ramps underneath here which they're going to want to come up. So we have blocked these off. I've got no traps on them, they're just blocked off on there. And there is also a second natural ramp here as well. Now on this one, I do have a 3 impact launcher on here, which is going to fling them all the way down to this spot, and then they're going to go through that tunnel, which we'll go through in a moment. Now anything that spawns up along here, there is a straight walkway around from here to go up. So I have blocked this one off. We've got a wall spike on here which is going to heal us attached on it. It's going to repair that wall if it does get at all damaged. But we've also got a 5 impact launcher on here which is going to fling any husks right off the map, and then they'll have to respawn. And we've got a tar pit then just to hold them in place long enough for this launcher to go back off again if needed. So that will sort out that section there. So from this, as they're going to spawn anywhere around here, we're going to place wall darts then going all the way around the outside. Make sure you do keep them away from the edge of the mountain, otherwise they will get destroyed by the spawns. And they're going to be attached to this one here, and it's going to anchor our spawn traps from that. And also we've got an anchor up there as well, just to make sure it's got a double anchor so it's not going to get broken and destroyed. So from this one here, we're basically going to have a full row going all the way up to the end of this one here. Where is it? Up to this one. So that's 1, 2, 3, there's 4 drop traps on there. So we're going to have a second row. You can miss this one out because nothing has spawned down there. So you're going to have another load of drop traps on here, which are going to go all the way to the end this time. And then further back, this drop trap here, I removed that and I put in an electric field because I kept getting husks getting flung back landing down there and then going all the way around and going straight up these and straight up there. So I took the drop trap off and I changed it to an electric field just to stop any husks getting flung back onto that section. So that is that piece there. Now for the rest of them going across to the end of this bit of mountain, we do have more drop traps on here as well. And yeah, for this section along here, for anything that spawns up here, we've got in, just put that blank so that it's going to hold all the other two wall darts on, but put 2 more wall darts on that section to kill anything that spawns on this section and anything that comes up along here. And that should take out most of the husks for you. Now, they are going to want to head then, because we blocked off our natural ramps on these two, they're going to head over this direction. Now, we've got in some wooden floor spikes, just caused a bit of damage there, and we've got some sand wall on the side, just make them drop any propane they may have. You may get the occasional one that wants to come around this side of it for some reason, so we've got the same on here. But either way, they're going to come up here and head through this ramp, this natural sort of tunnel. So we've got some wooden floor spikes on the floor. We've got wall darts then catch anything as they come in. And a few more going around here and another wall darts. And then we've got some more here. Now with this one here and the tornado wave, it may possibly strip out the trap on this one sometimes when you get to the tornado. But if not, then at least there's one final bit of damage to catch them before they get into our amplifier. Now for our amplifier itself, our computer screen on this one is around the back here. So anything that comes by is going to come around here and it's going to come around this section. Now they can come to this tile here. So what I did do on my other account, when I had a couple of problems, I did put in a freeze trap at this tile, just so that if anything makes it in here, then they're going to get frozen on the spot and then take the damage from the electric fields and from these if they try bashing it anyway. So that should sort out anything with those. Mini boss sometimes can be a bit icky around this amp, and it does seem to like destroying this structure. So if he does and any other husks do spawn and come up here, then they'll get frozen by the trap and taken out. I've got a couple around on this way around here just in case they come around this side, but most of them seem to want to take that short route across anyway. And on the top then we got our anti-air traps in case we need those, and one up on the very top up there, and that should be fine. Now one thing I did notice, actually just as we were coming around to do this, you should have this along the top here. If you don't have these edited along the top, that could actually be why my mini boss keeps on coming and bashing on that wall, because of these structures being missing. So do make sure that you add these structures in, and hopefully that will keep that mini boss at bay and stop him destroying any structures. Now the other possible spawn that you may have for this amplifier is from the north. If you don't have this one placed, then you can get attacked from the north. And the spawn for this one is going to be anywhere around this amplifier. It could be anywhere around this section and anywhere back as far as this here. So for this one, see, we've got a little natural ramp up here, which I can't even get up here at the moment. There we go. We do have a natural ramp up here, so I blocked that one off just to make sure nothing comes up here, but also it acts as our anchor point as well. Now you're going to get some spawns along the top of this mountain. So we've also got another anchor which is set up on here, and I've put that into an edited archway just to make sure that lobbers don't fling at it. But anything then that does spawn up here will get taken out by these electric fields. We've got a wall dart on the end there, and it's all attached over here. So from these spawns down here, we've got drop traps. Then we've got a row of 4, and we got 1, 2, we got 2 rows of 4, and then we go into a row of 3. There's another row of 3, but you can leave that middle one spare because nothing's even going to be able to be hit by that one if you did place one in there. And then another 2 rows of 3 drop traps as well, and that's going to fetch you up to the edge of this section here. I do have a wooden floor spike just to catch them out either side, no matter where they go, before they go down towards our amplifier. Now the tornado wave, when it does come, can hit on this amplifier. If you've got amplifier C set up here and you haven't got the other amplifiers up there placed, then tornado wave is normally on this amplifier here. So these 4 can sometimes get taken out by the tornado, but I wouldn't worry too much. We've also got some wall darts and some more wooden floor spikes all along this section, which again they can get taken out. And we've also got some wooden floor spikes along here as well, and again these can get taken out by the tornado too. So if they do make it up here, then we've just got a few more along here, and we've got our electric fields up the top there. Now you will get the occasional husks that will want to take a longer route round, and they may want to go up this natural ramp up here. So we do have 2 more wooden floor spikes down on the bottom of the ramp. As they come up the ramp, they're going to get hit by drop trap, and then electric field, darts, and more wooden floor spikes here. Now there is also another section that they may spawn, and they may spawn along this section along here. So anything that does spawn around here, we've got a couple more wall darts set up along the top, which not only act as a kill trap, but it stops them from wanting to walk straight across all of these drop traps here as well. So that's why they're there. They should hopefully either drop down that side and go down that way, or you may get the occasional one then that wants to come this way round. So we've got 6 more wooden floor spikes on here to deal damage as they come up. If they make it through, then they're going to walk up this way, come along this corner, and they'll head down across these. So they'll walk across these 2 and past all of these as well, and that should take them out from there. Now for this amplifier up here, this is the one at the very top west of your map. Not many people have placed this amplifier, and if you haven't, then congratulations, you have left the worst possible amp off. But me being me, on my various different accounts, I did want to make sure I placed this amp. So for this amplifier, you are going to get attacked from the west over there, from the north all the way over there, and also from the east all the way over there as well. So for this one, for the west hand side, they're going to spawn anywhere along this section along here. It can be anywhere along here, anything up to this point. Now occasionally this can get taken out by that spawn point. This is what links into our other spawns over there, so that bit of a nuisance, but it can sometimes get destroyed for that. These 2 structures I used to have along here, had to take them off. They kept getting destroyed as well. So we've basically got wall darts going along that section up to this here, along here, and then it goes across to this tree here, and you can leave that one out, you don't need to worry about that one. And we do have 3 more on this side over here, so this will take out most of the actual spawns. Now, the spawns themselves can be anywhere along up to this point. So what I have done is I've got a lot of drop traps up here. And to make sure that nothing gets destroyed, I've got it anchored at the very top of this bit of mountain along this section here. And that's what holds it all together. And then it connects up over there to our other spawn direction on the amplifier C, I think it is on my one, which is that one just down there. So we've got 3 rows of drop traps along here, and they're going to go all the way up across, all the way up to the edge of this mountain on here. Now this one here, that is just to attach it, so I've got somewhere else that it's attached to in case anything goes wrong. That will make sure it doesn't all fall down. So you don't need to bother putting in a drop trap or any other trap on there. You can just leave that blank. Now, anything that does spawn is going to come up this direction, and they are either going to come down here, or they will come along this way and they will come down here. Either way, they're going to end up at the same spot down here. And our computer screen for this one is all the way over here. So for this one, they're going to head in and they're going to come past our electric fields, and I've placed in some freeze traps here for anybody that wants to bash on this wall. They get frozen in place and then electrified up there. And we've got in some wall darts, and we've got some more wooden floor spikes. We've got another freeze pad here and some more electric fields, and the same over this side, and more wall darts and everything set up there. So that will take out pretty much everything that makes it through to the end. We do have a couple of anti-air traps set up on here just to sort out any lobbers or flingers that might come around as well. And it's our usual amplifier, so you can make sure you don't get any smashers or anything coming after you. For the north spawn, you're going to get attacked from over here. Now, for this one, it literally can be anywhere along this section, all the way up to this here, anywhere back on this section, and also anywhere along this section down here as well. So it's quite a big spawn. So what I have done for this one, we've got our wall darts set up along these two, which will catch out most of them on this point. And this is anchored all the way around here. It comes all the way around, comes down, and we've got the wall darts then going all the way around that section over there. Now, it goes up one from there, from the edge of this mountain. And then we've got some more wall darts along here. It goes round and right to the edge of this bit of ramp, natural ramp that we've got here. We've got an anchor point up there, and we've got that anchor point over there as well. So for this whole section from here, fill in 2 rows of drop traps going over this way, right up to the end. And then you can fill in the additional row, the 3rd row, coming from the edge of this mountain, and take that all the way across here. Now, because at this part here it drops down a tile, so we've also fetched the drop traps down 1 tile for that last section, and that will fetch them all the way over to here, and that should take out most of them at the spawn itself. Now, if they do make it past there, then they pretty much have a straight run. They get over to the amplifier, they get frozen or taken out over there. So that will take care of the north spawn. So the last spawn that we have for this amplifier is from your east. Now this will link in to your Homebase amp. So you should have this amp already built up from the beginning, but there is going to be a spawn anywhere around this bit, and it's going to spawn anywhere along this section here as well, and it could be anywhere along in this bit. So just in case there was any random spawns up there I've left it away from the edge of that bit of mountain. All of that lot is already set up from your Homebase. So I've attached an extra piece up there. And I didn't bother with that one because there's not really any point on that one. They don't tend to go on there because they're over, spawning along here. They're going to take a straight route, so they should get hit by these drop traps along here, which is attached to this section, which we've then got some wall darts and everything set up along here, and that will take out most of them as they come up. I did find the occasional ones when they did spawn down here. Some would walk up that ramp to go over, and some will go over this way, but generally there's still plenty of durability left in these drop traps that they get taken out before they even get round this direction anyway. But regardless which way they come, they're going to head for this natural ramp. Now I do want to quickly point out that since building this on this main account and then going on to one of my alternate accounts to rebuild it for some of the other amps that I've been doing, this wall dart is not able to be placed on this structure. For some unknown reason on my alternate accounts, I cannot place this wall structure in this place. So it's not going to make a huge amount of difference. The husks aren't going to actually go up that point anyway. They will go round. It's just one less trap to be able to place down. But for some unknown reason, something has changed and you can now no longer place that wall dart in there. So just remember that when you're building this amplifier. So I do have a wall dart there which is catch anything up to this point. I've left this open, but they don't tend to come up here anyway. So we do have a sound wall then at the bottom of this ramp over here. Make sure any propane drop their tanks before they head round. We've got a wall dart then over this side just to catch anything as they come up on this natural ramp. And then it's pretty much a tall sort of tower here, 3 high, with 2 drop traps at the top, which are going to take out anything that does come up this natural ramp. And then I've put in an edited wall just to fetch them round a little bit to make sure they do take this wooden floor spike rather than cutting off the edge. I've left this wooden floor spike in as well, just in case they come up around, this side of it, then they get damage from 2 of them. And then they're going to head around to the amplifier itself. And that should take care of everything from the east. Now, if you are still around after that extremely long video, then thank you very much for your patience. It has taken me a lot of hard work to get this all sorted out for every possible amp, every possible spawn that I can. I hope there's nothing that I have missed. If there is anything that you notice that I have missed or that is changed or different, please do let me know in the comments. And if you would like to support me, please drop a like. Smash that subscribe, use code RiverFox in the Fortnite store, and until the next one, I hope you have a fantastic day. Stay safe, commanders, and I will see you on the next one.